Hello everyone. As I promised before, here's a short video on the setup of the Polotsk scenario, which is the second scenario in the northern sector of my Memoir 44 Bagration campaign that I'm working on. And I already did a short recap of a playtest I did, and this is, I'm about to do another one, and this is the setup. The Germans actually go first, so as you can see they have a couple of options. For instance, of course, depending on the cards that they have, and these are the ones that they've actually drawn now. The dig-in card is a nice one for them. The units in this scenario don't actually start very well fortified because they were on the run and desperately trying to recreate a front line. But yeah, so the dig-in is handy for them. They have a barrage card, a recon 1 card, which in this scenario, if they forego actually taking 2 cards and picking the best one, they can actually exchange the card after playing it for a victory medal. So recon 1 cards are very welcome for the Germans. They also start this scenario with 5 victory points in possession, 5 victory medals. There are Russian medals on there denoting that the Russians can actually capture them. For the Russians, they also count as objective medals. For the Germans, only this one also counts as an objective medal, but the other ones are victory medals for the Germans. And the railroad bridge is also a sudden death condition. So if the Russians occupy it, they will actually be in possession of it. That also means that it's very important for the Germans to move one unit, preferably over here, because maybe this one has a behind enemy lines card or something, and you don't just want them to walk up on it or force the Germans to retreat. So that's probably something you really have to look out for. Also, you can see that as I said, the Germans are either on the run. Some troops are already being encircled and cut off. Others were desperately trying to recreate some kind of a front line. So the Germans have a couple of options depending on the cards they have. And I've seen both in some playtests I've done alone and also with others. This unit can potentially attack, and these units cannot retreat. So that's certainly an option as well, or it can move into the village. This one, well, it's probably not going to survive for much longer, so why not attack the infantry over here? And the same is true for these units over here. This one on the road. So they have several options, and the Germans also have a couple of depleted units, and the rules for those are that they start with 3 figures, but if they are eliminated, they don't actually yield any victory medals to the opponent. So basically they're suicide squads, and they can eliminate enemy units, and those of course will grant a medal to the Germans. And so you don't really have to be very careful with them as far as that's concerned, because you won't lose any medals over them. 12 medals are required to win. As I said, the Germans start with 5. Recon 1 cards can be exchanged, as I explained before, for a victory medal. So the Russians really need to keep pushing and not be too complacent, not be too afraid to sustain losses, but on the other hand, also be careful while pushing along. They also have a couple of partisan units. I've used the French resistance badges to show them, but they work the exact same way. And the Russians can also score victory medals by exiting units off the far edge of the board. So I hope that gives you kind of an idea. So far the Germans have won all the playtests. 12-9, 12-7, and 12-5 or so. But I do think I found a strategy which could definitely work for the Russians. In the last one, it was already very close. As I said, it was 12-9. That was actually one I played against an opponent. Could have been 12-11 had I exited 2 Russian units, but I didn't do that because they were still complete units. There were German units around, and exiting them wouldn't have given me victory at that point, so I thought I'll just keep them on the board a little bit longer. But then one German unit eliminated the last Russian unit they needed to eliminate to get their 12 victory points, but that one was incredibly tight. Yeah, so let's see how this one turns out. Anyway, I hope this video gives you a good idea of what this scenario looks like. Thank you for watching.